another planet? Is Janet from 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 another planet?
TV-MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Team Shit Show 2.0. Hope everybody's doing good tonight. And I want to welcome Steve and Patrick for joining me this evening to talk about a few things they've got going on X and on Substack, apparently. So I'm going to say hi to everybody. Hi, how are you doing?
Evening.
How are you two doing?
So excited. Thank you for letting us join you.
Well, I'm glad you could. I've been listening to you for quite a little while on X in your spaces, and I think you guys are very informative.
We try to
So when I heard about your upcoming thing that I didn't realize you had on Substack, it's like a podcast. Is that what it is?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's see if I can get this elevator pitch done without sounding like we just threw this together overnight one evening. But I had this idea for kind of like a safe space for men in a podcast. And about a year ago, and if you remember Pat Riotism, we tried to get this going. And, with schedules and things that were going on elsewhere in life, we weren't able to get it done. And then Steve and I go back since I got on X, decided to give this a go. And the idea is, in a nutshell, we want to just pick a topic that we know something about and go through the process of learning enough about it to become kind of like amateur experts, and then share that thought process in kind of a dude-centric way, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. And so the first one we did like an intro episode, and then Steve had a great idea. I don't know if you want to jump in, but to do the Olympics and the new sport of breakdancing for this first.
Oh yeah, I'm totally a amateur professional at breaking now. I know all about the B boys and the B girls and the top rock and down rock. Can't call it bottom rock, and that just sends wrong connotations there. Power moves, freezes, but yeah, no, I'm not going to try to say anything about being, a professional or knowing about any of these topics, but just interested enough to try to, do at least some level of due diligence before just, speaking from the hip in regards to, say, like a hot take, because, hot takes are easy. But at the very least, get at least, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes minimum, reviewing something prior to, trying to just go with, that gut instinct. And, with something like with the breaking that was on the Olympics there, some of the things didn't really pass the smell test. I guess you could say, like with a with a certain someone from the land down under, and her interpretive style.
Mhm.
It warranted discussion, we'll say.
Yeah, and she score the worst score ever in the Olympics.
I still couldn't tell you how that judging worked
I never
in comparison to
heard
other.
of anyone getting that low a score.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, with moves like the sprinkler and the kangaroo, it's odd to think that when you had folks back in the 80s saving their community centers, I never saw
Yeah.
moves like that. So I don't know.
Yeah, that was pretty sad. I mean,
Yeah.
and embarrassing. I mean, for the country, let alone for the person performing. You know what I mean? To get a 0, isn't that what you got?
Just for the sport itself.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the inaugural attempt, to have something like breaking on the world stage. A means to really show it to a group who's maybe never seen it before, and then also to introduce, this subculture to the world, and just to basically turn it into a meme. It's like, yeah, it works for that 15 minutes of discussion, but what kind of damage does that have long term for breaking? It just feels wrong. It just feels bad.
Well, it's sad because whoever was, and he was the teacher, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's got like a PhD in the cultural influence of breakdance.
Did she have students that performed that didn't get 0s?
If they performed, it wasn't at the Olympics.
Oh, okay. See, that's what's sad. The fact that other people that would want to perform would be probably think twice about it now, So yeah, it does. Anything like that would hurt. But I'm still shocked though that the Olympic Committee would give anyone a 0. I mean, A for effort, something.
They don't give out participation trophies in the Olympics.
No, I mean like a 2.
I understand.
You did this, but yeah, this was really bad.
Well, this is the big times.
Yeah, so I guess other people did phenomenal for her to get a 0. You know what I mean? I didn't get to watch the breakdancing, so. But the thing is, I like breakdancing. I've seen it in tons of movies. I've seen it in lots of commercials and lots of little things on YouTube because they do a lot of, people's events, different things like that, and people will record it and share it. So, lots of young kids love it, and they do it on the streets, So it's like hip hop, they do a lot of the stuff out in the streets of Chicago and New York and in California, for sure. I've seen competitions for that. So yeah, you're right. It's really sad, but I was just shocked. I didn't even realize that someone had scored so low until someone was talking about it. Now I didn't see any memes for it, at least not on my timeline. So, I don't even know what she looked like.
I don't think it required memes because, especially with Ray Gunn, she
Professor Gunn, sir.
Professor Gunn.
Yeah, that's really sad.
But I don't think it required any artwork or even Canva to make these ones, if you ask me. But what's funny about it, we looked at, so one of the most interesting things we discovered, and this is kind of like, we talk a lot about whenever you come into the space, Janet, and
Yeah.
I think one of the big things on X Spaces, by the way, everybody, if you're not on X, just get on there, reach out to Janet or me or whatever, and we'll help you get like a follow list that makes sense. But so that it doesn't look like a jumbled mess. But I'm
sharing you two. I'm sharing both of your X profiles links in the chat right now, and I'll share them a couple times just so people know to click on you and check you out. Follow you so that when you do have a space, they'll get a notification.
Yeah. Well, that was the other thing, because in Spaces, we work on like how to talk through topics, how to like explain things in our own words, right? And but sometimes some topics devolve in Spaces, as you well know. And I feel like, so that was the other reason for doing this, was to be able to take a topic like this that all we would do is make fun of Ray Gun and probably not learn anything if we did this in space.
Yeah.
But that could be fun on its own. it's probably, there's actually like, until 2004, this was wild. For a men's sport to be added to the Summer Olympics, it had to be actively practiced in 75 countries.
Across 4 continents.
Across 4 continents. And,
Yeah.
and they've thrown out all these standards for new sports over the last 20 years. And that was another thing we spent some time talking about. It's like, why would you do that?
Money.
I don't know. Why would they?
Money.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nope. It gets stale. So they want to bring something new. They want to bring in a new income stream. And so if you've got these, kids that are doing this thing, let's try to monetize it. Let's try to widen the scope of breaking. Let's try to get more revenue from.
Well, they didn't do breakdancing a long time ago, did they?
Not in the Olympics, no.
Okay, well, that's what I'm saying. So as new things come up, I think we should add new stuff to the Olympics.
We should.
Because we're progressing, as we evolve, we learn different things in it. And it takes a lot. You got to be in shape.
Well, right.
I mean,
and these cultures, they build up.
Push-ups. And I go to the gym every other day. So,
Yeah, but these subcultures, they build up their own communities. And, you get groups like Red Bull. Like, I think Red Bull is one of the big sponsors for the actual, breakdancing competitions worldwide. Similar, like Monster, Rockstar, etc. Those energy drink companies partner with like the X Games, and a lot of those, sports that started in the X Games are now present in the Olympics, both summer and winter.
Do they do what is it? Skateboarding? Do they do that in the Olympics too?
There was BMX. I think there was skateboarding this year. I didn't look too close.
Because I know they do snowboarding now in the Winter Olympics.
Yep.
The small, the little ones, not the regular skis. They do the little, like it's like a skateboard or whatever, a little bigger than a skateboard.
Yeah, and they'll do like downhill. They'll do slalom. They'll do half pipe. I mean, they brought all of those things into the Winter Olympics that didn't used to be.
I think it's great.
Until the popularity got so huge in that other market, in the X Games, in that, that parallel system that, I guess like they'd like to kick around the idea of parallel economies these days. This was a parallel kind of global sporting event that has then been brought into, that the mainstream global sporting event of the Olympics.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good. I mean, anything that we can get to get young people to want to participate in something athletic, and where they might become famous or get their 15 minutes of fame instead of all the kids sitting there doing this on a computer.
Well, now, Janet, question for you. Would you put Fortnite in the Summer Olympics or in the Winter Olympics?
If I was going to do it, I would have a separate gaming Olympics.
They already do that.
Oh, they do? See, I've never done it because I don't play that well. I play Goat Simulator, but it comes on Xbox Live, and I laugh the whole time. And all my friends keep saying, "You need to do a live stream." I'm like, "Why? I'm laughing and I suck." It took me forever just to get the devil goat because you have to go get people and bring them up and put them in the pentagram.
Got to sacrifice them at that altar.
Yeah. And I had to go, stick my tongue on them and drag them up the mountain screaming. It was horrible. But the thing is, it took me forever to learn how to do it. And I've never won a single game because I play by myself. And you have a lot of the time games with 2 people. So I've never been able to finish any of them. I mean, I've done almost all the goats, that stuff, but it's so much fun.
Yeah, but unlike Half-Life, Goat Simulator could count to 3, That's what it all boils down to.
But the thing is, there's no guns. You can blow stuff up because you just headbutt it, a car or whatever. But it's just fun. I just really laugh, and it's very relaxing. So yeah, I do play some games, and I play mostly tabletop games like Dungeons and Dragons, things that we roll the dice and all that kind of stuff.
What class do you typically main in D&D?
Well, right now I just made the 5th level on the first one where my dungeon master is writing his own game. So he's doing like beta testing. So that's the second game. And then the other game, I'm a half elf, half human cleric, and I just went to 14. I'm level 14. So, and I have my own tiger, that protects me, basically follows me around and makes sure I don't.
Clerics get familiars?
Yeah, I got a familiar on this one.
Interesting.
I guess it depends on the the master, because they have so many different ones. You can be steampunk over there on that game, or you can play Star Trek, or you can play. It depends on it's
like a different
it's got
rule set.
You have different rules depending on who your dungeon master is. Because I'd never played. I wanted to play, and when I was a kid, but I lived on Air Force bases, and they kept saying, "No, you're going to be leaving in 2 years." And these people wouldn't be on a base. They'd be off the base, but I would just go with them or whatever. It's depending on where you lived. And they said, "No, I don't want you to play with me because we'll get your character going and then you'll leave."
Be in the middle of a campaign and then lose one.
So they said no. So I never got to play, but I'd go and watch, and I thought it was a lot of fun. So when I saw it again on that show,
Stranger
Things, I was like, oh, I was talking about it, and one of the people on Discord was like, hey, we got a game and we need a character, and they had no girls on there. So I was like, oh God, I knew they'd hate me, but they ended up being nice to me. I've already died once on there, and they brought me back. So I guess they did care about me a little bit. They brought me back to life. But it's fun, and it makes you use your imagination. Unlike the ones where you sit and everything plays out for you, it's all in your head. And we do it live stream, and it's big grid board and this little characters on there, and we're talking most of the time, or goofing off or whatever, teasing, because we play like 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours for one day, and we eat snacks and. Just be dumb, but it's fun. It's something I'll look forward to each week. Each one is 2 different games, but you just wish more people could experience using their imagination, whether it's a tabletop game like that or something else. I think it's something that we really need. People sitting on their phone all day, just sitting there, is to me, I don't think it's very healthy.
It's funny. I was yesterday night set up. My dad and I play a lot of these board games, and we've got one going almost all the time, and they are.
What games do you like to play with your dad?
Avalon Hill, we've got one of the original D-Days from 1961.
Cool.
Yeah. The Russian campaign that I just set up that we played a few times, but that's the 1980s. 80s, I think, is when it's from. They don't really make these anymore that have the full. The little counters, the little square counters, and all the different units, and the rule books are 50 pages and stuff. So it's always the first time you play one, you play it. I remember the first one we ever bought was it took us a while. We got a newer version of one that my dad thought it was the one he played as a kid, and it wasn't, and we had to start over. But as they've gotten progressively more complicated. But I like those because again, you have to think through it. I like the text, being able to touch it. And I've tried some of these, some of the some of these Discord games. I just don't know. We tried poker and stuff, but it'd be cool to watch sometimes. You say you stream it, right?
We stream it. I stream it every Saturday on X and on YouTube, my YouTube channel and my Rumble.
Nice.
Do y'all use something like Tabletop Simulator, or are y'all actually in person at a table with cameras?
I'm on a camera, and he has a couple that will show up at his place, and he has a big table and a grid, and he draws stuff out, and then he brings out characters that he paints himself and uses them during the game. Creatures that we're going to fight, dragons or whatever it is, and he'll bring those out, and then we're like, oh shit, we're going to die, whatever type of stuff. But it's fun, and and then when it's time for our break, bio break or what you want to call it, he'll put a thing on the bottom, and then he plays videos of really hot, good looking babes riding horses. So it's just really stupid, but it's fun. I have a great time. I enjoy it a lot, and I wish more people could do it, whether it's that kind of game or not. But I've played in tournaments. I've played Texas Hold'em. I've even played Texas Hold'em in the Black Hills. With my mom, and I got her in a tournament because she loved Texas Hold'em before she passed away. But and I've won money. I've won a couple of. I was the last player standing, and it was fun. It's exciting, and I got a real good poker face apparently. So I don't
geez.
give it away that I got a good hand. But I like poker. I like cards. I like dominoes. Do you guys know how to play 42 dominoes?
No.
It's
No.
kind of like
I've owned
spades
dominoes, but I've never
and
actually
trump.
played it.
You got trump, and you trump each other, and you bid on how many tricks you're going to take, and that stuff. Same thing with it's with dominoes. So that was a game that I played growing up with my mom, stuff like that. Just a lot of people don't play games anymore, which is sad. And the fact that a lot of these comic book shops that would have the gaming areas to the side where you can take your games
Mhm.
and play there, sit down and read a comic book or different things like that, closed down because of COVID. So if I had money, I would open one. That's what I would love it one day if I could ever open my own comic book shop. And
That was one of those when I was in Chicago. There had, again, up until COVID, those had started to kind of proliferate. But they're one of these things like you make so little. Like the rents have to be really reasonable because
if you owned your own building,
yeah, really exactly
something like that.
Echoes of this morning.
It just depends. I'm just saying, if I had money, that's what I would do. Not so much for me to make money, but for me to let other people enjoy learning about comic books. And I would, I'd probably also sell costumes in there because I sew. I've made my own like Trinity costume. I've made tons and tons of costumes, and I'd make them for other people. Stuff like that. And I'd get other women, housewives or whatever, and see if they would want to bring their crafts or whatever they make and sell them in my little shop or whatever. Just stuff that's different than what you'd go when you go to the mall, or to Walmart. You know what I mean? Handmade items that are made by people that want to continue other people learning how to crochet or how to sew or quilt or stuff. I just think it's we're losing it. We're losing our culture. We're losing special things like that about our country due to people just sitting in front of a television all day or on their phone. Even kids. You're walking through the grocery store to get milk and whatever, and you see kids, toddlers, and they got a phone, and they're playing like what's the name of that one with a Candy Crush and stuff. And it's like you got to, it's just sad. And they're holding a $900 phone. And they're not even two, it's stuff like that. Maybe it's their moms, but they're still playing with it, So I don't know. I just wish we had game night for family, like Twister and games where you have to interact with each other. I think it'd be good for people.
I remember, we probably all have this stuff in our backgrounds. By the way, whenever I hear Candy Crush, I think of that. The voice in the background. Oh yeah. That deep, whatever you get, you win. But as a kid, I remember we'd always eat dinner together, and we'd watch, we'd watch Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy as a family, and then on Wednesday nights we'd watch Seinfeld and Home Improvement, and then on Sundays went to church, and afterwards we'd always go to lunch or go to the golf course as we were older. But those kinds of family activities, and then with friends, I remember too TV night where we go over and watch For a while, The Walking Dead. Some of my friends were into that. I never understood the whole. I know some people say everything's better with zombies. I'm not sure about that, but that kind of in-person engagement. That's the other reason why. Not just because Steve's a little shy. We didn't want to do the video because I think the problem with a lot of podcasts is they're way too long.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can't just listen to them while you're. And so if we were going to do, we may do stream some video at some point, but we thought for putting it out on Spotify, just do the audio so that people can, and keep it to 30 to 40 minutes is the goal so that it's listenable. It's not a huge commitment. Like a lot of these are, and I feel like something like this, when you're watching, you got multiple people talking, that's interesting. But if it's a lot of times,
right here is I'm sharing your post that you made with your Substack on it right
Oh,
here.
Dracula. Look at him go.
So
Did you see
let me
it?
turn this up. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it turned up now. So you ready? Here we go. I don't hear anything. Does it not have sound?
Oh, I think we got to go to it on Substack to actually.
Oh, okay. Well, it doesn't matter. It's okay. They can see it. This is on Patrick's. This is a post on Patrick's X page on his profile, and I will share this actual link right here for his. It'll take you right to his post, and I'm gonna put that in the chat, and I'm gonna have to go over to my because I have to do it separate. There's a chat over in Rumble, there's a chat here on X, and then there's a chat on YouTube, and I have to do all three separate because I don't have a way to put it together, so it's all going to be separate. But oh well, sorry about that. But let me share that here on YouTube. I'll put that in the chat real quick, and then I'm going to go over to my X real quick, and then I'll share it over there. So just give me 1 second.
I'll tell you about so originally I went out and I was like, I just need pictures of like different kinds of dudes. So then I built this background. So this is just some random picture of a couple of dudes sitting there, probably looking at like somebody's phone, checking out what's on Tinder. I don't know what they're doing, but something like that. The second one was, I think, that was most interesting dude is what I'm calling him. We have Dracu Dude, and Dracu Dude is, if you don't know who Dracu is, you're probably better off, but we're going to share that in the chat anyways as well, just because.
Just Google that Dracula flow. It'll all make sense.
And then over here, hang on.
Turned a brick into an empire.
That is like Skater Dude, and then Funny Dude. I don't know why I'm so blotchy today. I feel like. Well, see, we're also running we're on quite the shoestring budget, so no makeup artist, no eyeliner. So sorry, folks. But
I went over and watched your second one, and I thought it was pretty funny. So I think you guys, if more people could see it, I think you would definitely have a lot more people following it and entertained and happy after getting to watch it, because that's what we need. Just like I was talking about before we went live, that, you get tired of paying for tickets to go see stand-up comedians, musicians and whatever else. And then you're up there and they play a few songs and they stop and they start giving you a lecture on don't vote for this person, don't do this and don't do that. If you go there, if you go into a rally, you're expecting to hear about politics. But if you're buying a ticket to a concert, you just want to be entertained. So when a person clicks on something and they know that it's a podcast or whatever, they're expecting a certain thing from it, right? So I try to give people what I tell them I'm going to, that's why I like doing the shit shows, because there's always going to be shit in the world. So people want to share why they're mad about something or why they're happy about something. You're always going to have that. You're always going to have people that want to share their experiences. So that's why I thought this would be really good, because basically I got the Team Shit Show basically from going to spaces, because I go to all these spaces and I get to meet so many new people that have different experiences that they get to talk about. But I don't get to talk to them or anything separate. I have to ask questions, raise my hand, and by the time it comes back to me, I've already forgotten what I was going to ask, that type of stuff. So I thought it'd be really good to be able to bring people on and let them talk about whatever it is that they were trying to talk about in the space, but they really didn't have the time or a way to, explain everything, because, there's so many other people in there and everybody wants their, few minutes to be able to speak. So I thought it'd be good to do something like this, and it's been doing pretty good. I mean, I have a lot of people that share it and tell me later on and send me DM, oh, I liked your show, because I've had like so many different guests, and I can't even tell you everyone, but and almost every one of them I met, you know, either on my YouTube friends or from Discord or from X. So, you know, that's where I get most of my news, and it's great. I've met some really great people.
There are some really great, like really smart people. And again, I even feel like when I look at like Fox, that they're holding back some things. Now, granted, there's some crazy mofos on X, and that's part of the colorful nature of it. But
hold on. You're telling me that you don't think that Raygun came from Inner Earth to keep the Tartarians down by doing that dance to kind of keep them at peace for another 1,000 years? What's wrong with you, sir? How dare you?
So you're telling me that she was part of some kind of spell that was being conjured by the Flat Earthers to counteract the Tartarian menace?
Yeah, we'll see. If we're saying flat Earth, then it's like the under Earth, not the inner Earth, because inner Earth still assumes the round Earth theory. So yeah, maybe it is under Earth instead of inner Earth. You're right. Maybe it is the flat Earth. But either way, the spell worked. The spell worked regardless.
I just shared your Substack link in the chat too, and I'm going to go to the X stream real quick, and I'm going to share it over there for anybody, because later on when they watch it again, see, it'll be in the chat. So even if it's 6 months from now. So I definitely want to do that.
And I think I got a question on that. So one of the things that we're trying to do, because this is the other thing, it's so hard to find certain posts on X. And so that's the reason I went ahead and spun up the Substack. It's not like, by the way, it's really easy to create one, and there's a lot of functionality there, but it's not like ideal for, I think, large. For something like this where we're just putting out a podcast, we want to do occasional like articles. It's really easy to set up for if anybody's trying to figure out like the fastest way to create a place to share. But the thing about it is, and what you'll see if you look at this episode on the podcast or on the Substack, is we've got in the article about it, all of our references, all the sources we referenced. And I think that's really important, and that's hard to do in like the normal show notes. So, and a little bit of I think that for me, like, and as we cover more issues, like tomorrow we're gonna do what difference does it make? And so next time I gotta fix my hair properly for it. But but what difference does it make? And talk about Chevron difference. So
there's really been no movement since that decision. There's been no movement at all, it seems.
So yeah, but the idea is like, and this is something I'd love to we'll like cross post this episode there as well, and co-promote, because I think that's the other thing is like for Kitty, you know Kitty is really, she's got a bunch of ideas. She's got some decent content. Just for some reason has struggled to get it out there. So like once we get this going, I don't want to overpromise, like you mentioned earlier. Like let's just kind of like, you want to make sure that people know that you're going to be here each week, that it's reliable. You know, like we want to do this first, and then the goal is to create like another section in there for friends.
Well, that's the best thing to do is just, set it up try to do it once a week. Like you're going to do this, what I'm showing right now, the thinking cup. I'm sharing it with the everybody on the on here watching this, and here and Rumble and on X, and I'm going to share the link. If you're on X, you just follow this link. It'll take you straight to this post on Patrick's timeline, and bookmark it. If you bookmark it, then it'll be in your bookmarks, and then you can go right to when it's time to be on to join this space, because this is a space, right? You're going to try to do it each day.
Yeah. So every Monday through Friday, we do from 7 till 9:30 Eastern ish, and And then on Saturdays, I'm doing like maybe this is what you should call it. X knows best. I just had that just inspired thought right there. But where like, so last week I had a senior sales executive come on and talk about sales strategy. And then this week on Saturday, I got Graham Penrose. We're gonna talk about the future of work and AI and some of the best. Like he's put out a whole series of like free trainings on large language model like programming and stuff that he'll share, as well as like the best certifications and stuff. So it'll be like a practical, and then I'm sure we'll get into like the implications of AI on work and why can't. If I want to be a construction worker, can I still be a construction worker? And the answer is probably yes for a while.
Well, anyone who hasn't been to a space, what it is, I'm trying to explain to it basically what it is. It's on Twitter, but it's used to be Periscope. If you've ever been on Periscope, that's what it's kind of like. You get to go into or Discord,
Clubhouse,
or there's a lot of little apps that are kind of like it, and it's what it is. It's a group of people where you all get to go in, and you can ask for a microphone, which means you want to speak. You're not on camera or anything. It's just your voice and a picture, like the avatar that's on our screen when we close our camera. Okay, it's like that. It's just, and if you're on X, that's what you do. You just go in, and there's hundreds of spaces every day. You can go into all these different spaces. Some are sports, some are talking about the news, some are talking about self-help. I've done a few spaces talking about different comic books, movies, have to do with cosplay or any of that stuff. And the people that get a mic, I ask people to raise their hands because I don't like it when a lot of people are all yelling and screaming over each other and nobody can understand what's going on. And then there's a thing I call the nest, where they could take links of things they're talking about, and they can put it in the nest, or they can put it in this little chat bubble, like our chat on the side. It's like that, but you can go and click on it and then bookmark it, and then you can come back and read all the different articles and stuff and things that people talk about in Spaces. I think Spaces is really a smart idea. I really think that it's a great way of people to, it's very addicting. You can get really hooked and can stay on it, and hours go by and you go, oh shit, I got to do laundry or whatever, so you miss a lot of things. But what I do is I make rhinestone art, and I crochet, and I do all this different stuff. So I just sit at my crafting table, and I set my phone on a little stand like this, and I go into space, and I do my whatever it is I'm working on and listen. And if it's something that's important, I get a piece of paper and a pencil, and I start writing some notes. And then if I think I have something to offer, then I'll ask for a mic. And then if I get a mic, I raise my hand, and I try to interject whatever I come up with. But I bookmark a lot of things that people talk about because they share links. Like I share links about signing up to work the polls and different things that I think are important because if it's an election season. But I think it's a great resource for people, to learn about a lot of things that we normally wouldn't even know about if I hadn't been on X, So I think it's great.
I mean, that's where
I bet you guys.
When I made so many friends the past year, like probably more friends than I made since like undergrad. Like that was probably the last time I made like this many new friends, and I've met a fair number of folks outside of Spaces. Sadly, neither of you in person yet, but yeah, Steve, I rejoined X or Twitter at the time, literally the night that Elon closed the purchase. I set up an account, 0 to whatever 57.
Did you have a Twitter account before it?
I had one.
This is my fourth account.
Really?
Yeah, because I was always politics. So when I started this one, it was before Elon bought it. But I was thinking, I got my TikTok starting to go. I've got over 10,000 over there, and I got an Instagram. I got a couple videos that are almost over 1 million views, and I got one that's at 2 million or getting close to 2 million views. So I'm real excited about that. But, you know, I'm not making any money yet because you have to have so many followers to be monetized, but I don't care. I'm doing it because I enjoy it and I like making shorts and, you know, because I'll make stuff like, you see my shirt? Do you like it? You know what it's made of? Girlfriend material. You know, stupid shit like that.
Snap.
That's the kind of crap that I do. And it's fun. You know, I just make up crap and I just do it. Or I post something like a meme that I think is really funny or something. You know, I'm always posting random stuff. And it's fun. And I'm going to keep doing it even if I never get monetized. It's not for the money. It's because I like doing it. It's entertainment to me. And I started a Discord, just like I said, years ago. And I have, you know, I think almost 200 people that are in there, but I invite who I want there, you know, and if I don't like someone, I can kick them out. You can't do that on Spaces. And now we have lingering names down there. You don't know who they are. So you can't talk about anything anything personal. So that's one reason why I like my Discord. Because like, let's say us three decided we want to do something. We want to come up with our own show or something we want to do. We would have meetings at Discord because it's private. I don't have to worry about anybody hearing it or taking our ideas or anything like that. And we can have video chat, talk, and send messages and everything all on Discord. So I like that. And I was hoping when I heard about Spaces that they were going to try to start doing something like that. But they haven't, because they were going to. I read a lot about ticketed Spaces. Did you guys remember when they were talking about that?
Vaguely.
I think.
Yeah, well, you could buy a ticket, you know, for whatever amount of money, and you could go in. It'd be like a seminar, or you could have a book or a video that you're showing that like say you made a video blog or whatever, and people could pay you $1 a piece or 50 cents or whatever it is you decide to come into your space, and they can only get in if they paid, right? And sit and watch whatever presentation you wanted to do. I think that's great. I'm hoping that's what they're gonna start doing. I think it would be a really interesting thing.
Yeah, that would be really neat. Like, I mean, the subscriptions. I don't know about you, but like I think I put in a subscription application like over a year ago.
Yeah, me too.
And it's just, it seems, I don't understand what the criteria is for how you get moved up that list. I can't figure it out either because
I think you have to have over a certain amount of followers. That's what I think. They base everything on that, because like right now I got good videos making tons of clicks, and they're making money off of it. You know, when you make a video that makes 1 million views, they're making money. Okay, over on TikTok or Instagram or whatever it is. But because I only have 650 followers, I'm not making anything.
oh.
And on YouTube, I have to have 1,000 subscribers, but I have to have 4,000 hours of view time. And I make mostly shorts. So it'll be 5-10 years before I get that many views. You see what I mean? Unless someone sits there and watches the same video thousands of times, you know. So I'm not even on there to see if I would get monetized, because I probably will never get monetized because of the credentials you have to have. So like if I was a famous actress and I had a promoter and stuff, they would help me get on there. They would promote me and get people to come to my channel. Because see, I could pay money. I could pay $50 a month or whatever, and they would send people to my channel, you know, put me out on the feed over and over again. That's why you'll see certain people that have 1 million views and their video's been out less than a week, you know. And then you have other people that's been out there for 5 years and they got 25 views, you know, stuff like that. It's because they're not promoted. And, you know, they only promote people they like. Because I've had videos taken down already. Like one of my team shit shows was taken down with KT Truther. She was on my show, and some of the things that we talked about, they didn't like, and they called me a cyber bully and took my video down. So I got a strike right now. But, you know, I can't help it. You know, I'm going to talk about what I think's interesting or what other people might be interested in. And I think you two have really good spaces. And if we can get a few people to come and start joining your spaces or go to your podcasts and stuff, to me, that's helping other people. You see what I mean? So it's worth it to me to do that.
Yeah, I think the main
Well, and
thing
that's
is
the thing. I
really
think you
just
gotta
getting
like.
people
So
kind of. Sorry, Patrick. Yeah, I was
Go
just saying
ahead.
that I think the main thing is just just getting people more just more involved, just more aware, just thinking. Like, kind of like we joke about Thursdays, thinking about thinking.
Mhm.
Just having more of that kind of that inner space, monologue with yourself, as opposed to just constantly having that I guess that landscape setup of just telling you what to think. You
Mhm.
know, I like to try to create an environment where you're kind of discuss with somebody in a way where you're not necessarily telling them what to do or how to do something, but giving them the opportunity to think beyond whatever their current idea is or their current thought is. Like,
Yeah.
take their perspective and just kind of you know put it back at them in a different way, because you have that idea of communication being the receiver and the actual communicator, but then the receiver themselves also transmits that communication back to the initial point, and it's that transmission back which can allow for that second perspective to potentially get to the person, so that they're thinking beyond I guess just that manufactured echo chamber, if you will. Just get
Mhm.
them to just, I don't know, think that there's more to it than just what they're told.
Mhm. Because there is. There
Yeah,
always is.
little bit, a
And
little bit.
it's funny to me because there's always you can always learn something. Everyone, every person,
100%.
nobody is knows everything. And anyone that acts like that, I just kind of go, see ya. Yeah, I just don't waste my time with people that every single thing you say, they make a comment and they already know everything about it, or they act like they know everything about every single thing. It doesn't matter what it is. And it's just funny. I've met many people like that. And I'm like, sorry, I don't need any narcissists in my life right now. That's all I say, because that's basically what they are. They end up being a narcissist, a person that tells you basically that you don't know much and I know everything, that type of thing, or they treat you that way. So,
you're saying, like,
uh,
as an insufferable know-it-all and
yeah.
expert on this sort of thing.
Yes, you rang.
Well, you could tease people about it, but and I joke around a lot. And to me, if you can't laugh at yourself, then you shouldn't be laughing at other people. You know what I mean? Because
It's-
nobody's perfect either. Everybody makes mistakes. And I'm excited to learn something new. Like I see a craft or something at a boutique, or I go to a flea market and I see something. I'm like, oh, I look at it and I try to figure out, can I go home and I try to make that? I'm gonna see if I can make my own version of that. And sometimes I'm able to do it, and other times I'm like, well, it's just I too complicated. I can't figure out how to do it, so I just don't do it. But I'd like to try to do it. So that's what I enjoy, and I like to see other people enjoy what they're doing, and learning, something new, or sharing their point of view on how to do a certain thing to someone new, and getting a new person interested in something new. You see, I think that's great, and if I can help other people do that, then I've got 2 people just in the last 3 days that are gonna one person here and a person online that's already signed up to work the polls, and they're ready to see what happens. And I said, well, you can't be nervous, because what I do when I go is I just take my little loomer, I got a little round loom, and I take my whatever yarn I've got, because I've got bags and bags of it, and I just sit and I loom a hat, like little knit caps or whatever, and then I give them to people, whoever wants them. And I usually do them red, white, and blue, because it doesn't matter what, who you vote for. Red, white, and blue means, America,
Used
basically.
to.
So, well, I still believe that.
I do too.
I'm an Air Force brat, and I'm always going to believe in our country,
Mhm.
and fight for her as long as I possibly can, as long as I'm breathing. But that's just how I am.
100%.
And that's annoying sometimes to some people. They just get sick of it. I have had a few people that stop following me because they go, you say the same thing in every space. You always tell people to sign up to work the polls and blah, blah, blah. And you're saying to the same people. And I said, well, you can think that if you want. But I've had many people that are down at the bottom that never speak, that never heard any of this. And they've sent me messages. I signed up to work the polls. I think it's great, blah, blah, blah. So, even though you're going to have negative people, they're going to be mean to you, make fun of you or whatever because of your point of view. Don't let them ruin your day. Just because they're a miserable person doesn't mean you have to be miserable putting up with them. So still get up and do the same thing. Look at yourself every day in the mirror and say, I'm a good person and I'm going to help somebody today, or I'm going to help teach somebody something new, or, whatever it is that you're going to focus on, and do it. And if they're negative, just go around them,
Yeah, as Dante said this morning, I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and doggone it, people like me. Just embrace that Stuart Smalley.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And that's what we should do.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, the other thing, especially something, important like that, where it's actually actionable. I mean, that's the one thing with the Thinking Cup, even going back to when we started it, a year and 8 months ago as the AM grind. The one of the things I always try to do is make sure that it's actionable. And so if you've got something to talk about like that, I'm never gonna stop you, even if it's off topic. It's I think one thing though, and that's why this kind of format is so nice, because we can finish those conversations, because a lot of times I think in spaces, there's always that argument, like if my hand's up, like when you were in school, what I was always that nerd who was like, like here, pick me, I was that guy. And
me too, that was me.
And that entire time though, no matter what the teacher or anybody else was saying, all I could keep in my head was the question I was getting ready to ask. And that's one of the, it's very hard to hear what other people are saying, unless that's why I keep notes when I'm in spaces. But yeah, a lot of folks don't, and you can tell that they have not heard a word of whatever else was said sometimes. And that's why, I know you keep, and Steve, to the extent you can, but it's funny how that's the problem with, sitting up on stage for a long time, is then you end up either, taking the conversation in the direction, and that's probably the hardest part about space hosting is, is when do you let people kind of, free flow talk, and when do you try to
control the narrative?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, you can't always do that. So it's so free flowing. Okay. And that's what makes it so unique. And that's one of the other reasons why so many people get addicted to it, because it is like getting to go to a coffee shop or a restaurant where everybody's just sitting around eating a snack and talking to each other. Even though you're not seeing them, you're hearing their voice. You can hear whether they're angry or they're mad, or if they got a cold, you recognize their voice. I'm getting to where I don't even have to see the screen, that I'm starting to recognize everybody's voices. Okay. So I know who it is, and I'll make a note that so-and-so said this, or somebody said that, on my pad of paper that I have over by my crocheting stuff. And it's getting easier and easier to do that. Then a couple times I'll hear someone come in and it sounds like someone else, but it isn't them. And I'm like, wow, they sound exactly alike, or whatever. It's interesting because it's things that you pick out, but it's never dull. I don't go in there and fall asleep in a space, you know what I mean? Because it's too interesting. There's just always something good. Or I get a phone call and I have to, leave the space or whatever, and then come back, and then I've missed a bunch of things or I've had my hand up and I'm about to ready to go, and I'm excited, and then the room drops me out, so that I got to go out and go back in. So it's got a lot of glitches, and I'm hoping that they just keep working on it and try to make them better and better. And I can't wait till I can sit at my computer and I got my laptop over here and I can do research or whatever while I'm in a space, talking to people or researching something on my PC. That would be really cool.
If only you could raise your hand on the computer.
Well, I can, but it won't go down. You have to go back and put your hand down. You have to remember. So once they get those little things fixed to where it flows better on a PC and and a phone. And I've had other people say, oh, they're never going to worry about it on PC. People don't use computers anymore. And I'm like, I use it all the time.
Yeah, cap.
You know, most everyone I know that does gaming or podcasts and or video, you know, live streaming and stuff like that, all have computers. So I just set up a Kick account because I have never used Kick. I've never streamed on it, but Divisive Content and some others are trying to make a little media group, you know, I want to be able to be a part of it. So I have to learn how to use some of the stuff that they use. And he invited me to do a cosplay thing where I'm going to try to dress up as a Warhammer character. And we'll get to go on this one stream they're going to be doing. We're going to be talking about the new game that's about to come out. So I'm excited about that because that's something I'm really into that. And if I can do it, I want to be there for it. So, but you have to understand how things work. I can't be sitting there the whole time going, I have no idea what I'm doing, and just sit there like a log. Why would I waste a spot that's being, live streamed if I don't even know what I'm doing? See? So I'm trying to learn as much as I can and help other people be able to learn how to do it, if I can. So,
Yeah,
I like doing it.
Those guys are, I think that's the trick to all this stuff is, so one of the goals, the organization that I had helped found earlier in the year, last year, was our business strategy was to create a platform for to help influencers to monetize and to provide a means to, bespoke, ready to go shared services like the store, all this kind of stuff, graphics, the website, all that kind of thing, so that you can do influencing. And that's pretty much, I remember talking to Divisive before we got started, and he's done a really good job of putting something like that together. And I think actually in some ways the commercials on it make more sense than I was going for something that, again, my background is like corporate technology and finance and accounting, mostly for financial services firms. So the systems I've run are very, very big. And when I think about shared service, I was thinking I wanted to build a platform that could handle 10,000 Janets and, maybe 100,000 Janets and 10,000 organizations. And so he's got a little less not gone overboard with it. But again, I think that's really the key, because a lot of the influencer accounts, let's just be honest, they're not really learning. They think they're experts on everything. Not everybody. And again, I don't want to generalize, but a lot of the bigger accounts don't necessarily add a lot of value. So, and I don't know why that is exactly. I think maybe when you start making some money, you get lazy, whatever. I don't know. But
yeah, I've seen that. I have seen a couple accounts that I followed that had 5,000 when I first started following them, and they had great content. They had a couple shows. I won't mention any names. And I would go every week and I would share their links, and I would ranch for them or whatever else. And then they'd grow and grow, and then they get to be 300,000 followers or subscribers. And then they just stop. They only read super chats. They only interact with people that are paying them to interact instead of just everyone in their chat, like typing. See, that's why I said, if it was me, I would have friends of mine or other people that work with me. That's why I think Divisive is smart about what he's doing, because people that aren't on the show that week would say, hey, can 4 of you that aren't busy be the chat monitors? See? And then that way, the people in the chat, because see, I feel bad because I'm having to go back and forth and try to say hi to everybody in my 2 other chats that I'm ignoring basically because I'm too busy doing something else. And if I had someone over there, they could do it so that that person in the chat doesn't feel like they're being ignored. But you got a group that's doing this streaming that doesn't like you to share with anyone else. See, they only want you to share. See, if I wanted to do Instagram and LinkedIn and all these other platforms, I would have to do them all separate because nobody wants to share with anybody else. See, and that's the sad fact. Instead of making a software so that you can stream to 5 places or whatever and talk to these different people, because different interests attract different people to a site, right? But you can chat with all of them. Somebody says, hey, from this one, they watch for 35 minutes, just like with our gaming thing, like DD. People come in and are like, what are you doing? You know, because they have no idea, because we're just sitting around and there's a big table with a few characters sitting on it. They don't know what it means, especially if they've never seen it. But if they see it and they go, wow, that's interesting, and then they start listening to you talking about the story, you might have a person that actually goes, wow, this is cool. This is right. This is something I'd be interested in doing. And you get new people to want to do it, just like coming to one of your shows and they listen to what you have to say and they're like, well, this is really good. You know, I really enjoy this. I wish I'd known about it before. So unless a person gets to see it, they don't know anything about it. It's just like a creature in the ocean. If we don't go deep enough, there might be who knows how many creatures down there we're never going to know are there because we don't have the means to go there and see them. Okay.
What you're describing, I mean, it almost sounds like the difference between, say, building a community, which is what it sounds like you're doing there, versus trying to build an empire, which is what that person who wants to just build a following, not share with anybody else, not take it anywhere else, not let anyone else in. They want all to themselves. You know, so you've got kind of that difference of 2 different modalities that you're kind of spelling out.
But there's like 4 or 5 other groups or men or women, you know, that have the same thing around the same time. When I started following that person, they did the same thing. And some of them are 300,000. And guess what? They still send me DMs. They still talk to you. They still interact. That to me showed me their character.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
A person that you talk to over time, it's hard for them to pretend to be this, that, or the other for so long and be personable and still be the same person they were when you go, oh yeah, she acts just the same or he acts the same or whatever, or that person. Yeah. As soon as they got a big head, they just don't even talk to me. Because like I see it a lot on the posts, I guess. You'll see them, they grow, their channel gets bigger, then they don't even comment when you comment on their deal, or they don't interact at all. You know, it's like you don't exist. And
if I comment on your deal, that's going to hurt my analytics.
Yeah, so they won't. I comment, share everybody's stuff. Sometimes I say, wow, this guy's a dick. And then I'll share it, you know, as my quote, or I'll just share it. Because to me, if I thought it was important enough to say, what a jerk, or wow, that's awesome, then why wouldn't I want someone else to be able to say the same thing, even if it's not mine? See, that's how I look at it.
I just want to say that Soy-Based Jeremy in the comments there, that is a bomb name. That is a bomb ass name. Soy-Based Jeremy.
Hi.
That is awesome.
I didn't see you there. I'm sorry. How are you doing? It's nice to see you. Hi, Stephen. Nice to see you too. Thank you guys for stopping in and checking us out. But yeah, I think it's important. And I wish more people would take a few minutes out of their busy day to try to notice other people and what other people are trying to do. Because you don't know what you're missing out on.
It's that community approach.
And the trick is, so like I hit last month 1.6 million impressions. So I'm like, didn't even really do it on purpose. I just had a couple things start to go a little viral, but and then I realized, ooh, this is actually working. And it's the whole reply guy thing. You ever watch, like, Green Man does some great videos, but he's got the reply guy video from a couple weeks ago. But what I'm trying to do, because what I noticed is I was going so far out of my way to comment on big accounts, I had quit paying attention to like my follower accounts. So now what I try to do is kind of alternate. But the other thing you got to do, because most of these big accounts you want them to interact with your comment. They're only looking at it like for 10, 15 minutes before they go off and do whatever else they do. And so So a lot of times in your feed, it'll try to catch you up. So sometimes if I haven't like been looking at it for a few hours, I have to pull down on the For You feed, but I don't do the same thing on the follower feed. So I'll catch up with followers a little differently. But on the For You, you only want to comment on something that's like 10 minutes old or less. Mm-hmm. If you want a response. And it's funny. And then there's a couple other quick rules, but I'll tell you what, like 1 or 2 of those good comments with the meme attached, and you'll get 100,000 hits off that, and then it only takes like 100,000 a day or less, like 60,000 a day to basically get monetized. And then I think once you get monetized, I'm sure once you get monetized, then the subscriptions probably could kick in pretty quick, and chances are the algorithm's more friendly to you because X knows they're paying you and you're of a certain size. So
well,
like
I know that
effect.
if you get 2,500 verified followers following you, you'll get premium, right? And then if you get more than that, there's up to another number, then you'll get premium plus. You'll be bumped up. So that's how it works. So I've learned that. It's taken me a little while, but I try to go to honey badger spaces sometimes, depending on, if I'm not busy, I have to have a time where I'm not busy and I can get on my computer and I can go through because it's bigger and I can read. I can have 4 different people's timelines open at once on X. I can't get in a space like that or anything, but I can read all these different timelines at one time. That's one reason why I like a PC, because I could be researching one thing, bookmarking, taking pictures to make videos and edit music or whatever. See, like that song I played at the beginning, a band called Fallen Mirror wrote that song, Janet from Another Planet. And I talked to them and they said I could use their music for my opening. So I made my own little video with it because I was getting constantly told, you can't play this video in Bolero, Russia or something because Taylor Swift hates them. So, it's because it was Janet from Another Planet. She had a little thing for that. And it took a while to get this kind of stuff. But I'm trying to learn. And if I know how to do it and someone asks me, then I can show them how to do it. At least I try to, because other people have helped me. So I want to help other people. But, some people that's just the human nature. Some people their head gets big and it's all they're thinking about is that, I'm going to do this. If I keep doing this, then I'm going to make this much more money. But if that becomes an obsession with all you're doing is doing this just to make a few bucks and you never go outside anymore, you never interact with other people, it's not worth it. So I try to set everything around and have, I have my notes and stuff like that. But if I'm not working on a picture or a project or whatever, then I don't hardly ever get on Spaces. See, because I have to go in the kitchen. I have to go in the other rooms to do my laundry and whatever else, or we'll feed my chickens or mow or, go shopping. So I tell people to try to do that, because if I've gone to bed at 10 o'clock at night with somebody in a space, running a space, and I woke up the next morning at 6:30 a.m. to got coffee, came and sat down, and they're still in space. They're still in the same space that they were in, because the same post that I posted in there is still there. And that isn't good. That isn't good for your health to do that kind of stuff.
Vampires.
So,
that's dropping.
Not to do that.
Yeah, those are the real Draculas. Yeah.
Well, the thing is that if you don't have a life, if you don't have any family or you don't have any friends or anything, and all you have is what's on here, then I guess that's what you're choosing to do. But if you do have it, you're neglecting the people back here. They're being neglected because you're spending all your time on your computer. But it's not just Spaces. It could be anything. It could be movies or TV shows you're addicted to, because addiction comes in all shapes and sizes. And I've had people on here talking about different addictions, because you get addicted to alcohol, sex, drugs, there's tons of things. And it takes you away from real life when you're so busy doing something else. So.
Well, and there's definitely like a work element that it's not like, if you're really going to do this for a living, and I'm not sure that's like, people have to realize it's the chances of success in the minefield are quite significant.
Well, that's why it should be a hobby.
It
You
should be
should
a
look
hobby.
at it,
Yeah,
and
it
if
should
it gets big, yay! Great.
Yeah. Exactly. It should be a hobby because, like we were actually talking about the Hawk Tuah girl earlier.
Yeah.
Like
15 minutes of fame.
I mean,
She'd be a cool hang. I don't care what you say.
No, I think she'd be fun as heck to hang out with.
Exactly.
But one day, 20 years from now, when her kid is looking for a date or whatever, and a meme comes up, and we're like, "It's mom," and then they're gonna watch a video and see what she did, and she got famous for, I mean, I don't think I'd want to be famous for that if you think about it. But it hasn't happened to me, but it could. I mean, you just never know what's going to become an overnight sensation. Like the girl that says that person over there is not real, whatever. You don't know,
that mofo.
All I know is mine isn't going to be because I'm stripping off my clothes. It's something like that. You know what I mean? So, and that's all you have. You just have your control over yourself, and hopefully, something that you did in your past doesn't get slapped upside your head finally one day when you're finally make it successful. And it may not be online. You might have had a job as a lawyer, and then you find out that you're gonna sue or something else, and the other guy on the other side finds pictures of you or something online, and now you have to back out of it because he's telling you, if you do this case, I'm going to show everybody these pictures. So you just don't know. Anything can catch up with you if you hadn't paid attention to what type of choices you were making in your life. So, that's like I've said it many times. Your profile picture, like this. So that's not my picture, but when I have my normal photo on there for my profile, that is my billboard when I'm on Twitter. So if I'm in a space, anyone who sees me, that follows me, sees me in there, and they go in and I'm talking about, blow jobs and whatever else. What are they going to think about me? What does that tell people that come in there if I'm doing that? So if I go in there and I'm talking about politics, that's totally different. See what I mean? It's what other people see when they see that avatar. What are they thinking about? What kind of person is that? And that's why if someone's following me and I go and I look at their profile, I look at their media, I look at some of their posts, and I go down their timeline a little bit, because if they've got porn all over it, block. I don't want that following me around. I don't want them commenting. I made a crocheted bag and I gave it to a woman who has cancer. Okay. And she loved it when I mailed it to her. Okay. And she posted it on her timeline. And it was thousands of, this woman has a real big account. I mean, I'm a little compared to her. And thousands of people were saying, oh, it's so pretty. And then I started seeing more and more posts of nude ladies and come see me on OnlyFans and blah, 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 blah. And I think it's terrible. And I wish that Elon could figure out a way to separate. If you want to be on X, but you want to do porn, you click on X porn or whatever, or triple X. Change it to triple X, and that we don't have to worry about having all that porn on just our regular stuff that we don't want to see. Separate it a little bit or something. Fix it to where you can see it.
Technically, that's the only exception to the Section 230 thing, and it's obvious.
Yeah.
It's obvious that it's never been enforced by the feds either, because like Instagram, there's enough fitness models doing whatever on there that and OnlyFans accounts and stuff. But like, that's one of the things I didn't realize that X had. And then I get back on it and, like besides the trolls, like you search any particular anything and it's wild, the stuff that'll come up, and I just don't see any reason for that. I think it does drive like the fair number of clicks, and Twitter used to lose $1 billion a year, so they bled money like nobody's business, and didn't seem to
what?
worry.
I mean, what made them lose money?
10,000. They had 7,500 people in their trust and safety function. So But yeah, like, I mean, that's why when he cut the 75% of staff and all these, but you know, what's really, I find like that's unnecessary. And then the other thing is, like you said, I always think if what I posted, like my mom might go, I don't know, I don't think we raised you like that. But you know, that's probably okay. But if she would be like, boy, we didn't raise you to write stuff like that on a public place, that's when I should probably delete it. And so usually when I poop post at things, I try to limit.
Well, I post bad stuff. I mean, I say some things that I probably shouldn't, but it's not someone's penis or someone's breasts, a naked lady parading around, or people having actual intercourse and, you know, nasty stuff like that. It's just, I don't agree with that kind of stuff being on my timeline. And I every week I type in Janet from Another Planet and see how many other ones there are. And there's a few. But the thing is, if I'm going to do it on other channels and try to promote myself, why would I not care about what other people see when they see it? You know, when they see me. I've had people say, why do you use that horrible picture on your profile? And I'm like, what do you mean? Well, it's black and white. Why don't you do something pretty? You know, I've seen prettier pictures on your timeline than that. And I'm like, well, because I like it. I think it's a very professional picture. Okay. And I use it on other profiles, not just this one. And I just like it. But nobody is going to be 100% happy with anybody. You know, they're going to find something they don't like. So I don't try to impress anybody. You know, I just try to do what I think I want to do. And if I don't want to see their porn on my timeline, I'll block them. And then when Elon was saying that he was going to take away the blocking feature, I was really tempted to, I guess I'll get rid of my Twitter, because if I can't block people that send me pictures of their body parts or post stuff all over my timeline of people pooping on each other and, you know, all the disgusting stuff, why would I want to be on here? You know, when I can go somewhere else. I'll go to Truth Social or just spend more time on my Discord or go somewhere else, because that's not what I'm on here for. You know, I'm on here to get news and information, things that can help me with my chickens, or something that's going to help me with my knee hurting, or, you know, stuff like that. If I wanted to see that, I'd go to Pornhub, you know, or whatever's out there. I don't even know what all those things are, but, you know, I just don't agree with it. And I wish that there was a way to separate it. You know, if people want to see porn, they should be able to see it if that's what they want. If they're a consenting adult and they want to see other consenting adults, it's none of my business. I don't care. I just don't want to see it. You know,
Right.
I should be able to have a timeline and be able to read my friends' posts. And when they're talking about them having cancer and what they're going through that day, and not see a bunch of porn on their timeline. I just think I don't think that's too much to ask for Elon to have this giant billion-dollar company and not be able to separate the porn from the normal stuff. I just don't see how that can't be done, you know. So I don't know.
It definitely could be done. I mean, it's especially now with like the tech on the AI and stuff, they absolutely could find it and get rid of it. But I think there was a large enough element of the user base, and again, X or Twitter before Twitter 1.0 lost a lot of money. It was really not and it was propped up because it was part of the censorship industrial and narrative industrial complex. But hey, I've got something. I feel like, because you mentioned the sex appeal, if you want to bring up my timeline again, there's
okay, hold on, I got where are you? There you are.
There's a couple of photos there of Kamala Harris that might be newsmakers.
Okay, I'll just scroll down for you. So tell me where.
A little bit, and
there you go. Here's one.
I mean, that's a little too serious. Keep going. That's
Okay.
Green Man. That's what Grok thought I looked like. That bear.
Really? What, you asked it to make a picture of you? I mean, I've been asking people, how do you use it?
What is,
I think it's cute. kind
It
of
is.
funny.
I think I might use it. Yeah. I keep going. I think it's there.
This one.
From yeah. If you want to zoom in, if you click on it, I think it'll bring it up.
Well, I can't make it any bigger than that. But right here, can you see it?
Yeah, like just click on the picture. On the picture, just watch.
There we go.
So.
Is this the growth picture?
Yeah.
That's amazing. Damn, I wish I looked as good as that.
Isn't that amazing? That's a fake picture of Kamala from.
Well,
Rock.
I know. It's
Isn't that crazy. Like you can't say
nice.
he doesn't like. And then this was the one I did. Trump and his Knights of the MAGA Roundtable.
Yeah,
this.
that's nice. I like it.
This was Kamala at a Pride celebration.
And her pool boys. Her pool. Oh, she looks good.
I mean, it almost is like too nice, but they can't say that Elon's being mean to Kamala. I'm curious though, like after this conversation, because you saw Anna Paulina Luna released.
Yeah, in her beautiful bathing suit.
And she's gorgeous. And then Lauren Boebert did the same today, but she went with full on bikini.
Yeah, is she the one that was holding the flag?
Did you see any of those, Steve? Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw the Anna Paulina Luna one. This Lauren Boebert one's new to me, though.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to bring it back up again. I didn't mean to close it, but I told you I'm not really good at this yet. I'm getting better. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm going to make this smaller. There, see? And then I got to go back this way. See? Now I can scroll down. Do you have it on your timeline?
I don't think Oh, this is adorable, by the way, this video. Like, I love
the puppy right here.
Watch this, dude. Like, it's so smart. It actually.
Okay. I have to turn it down because I don't want to get a copyright because of the music. But
oh, yeah.
Oh!
This dog is.
Funny.
I mean, it's frightening how smart this dog is. Your cat couldn't do this, Steve. I don't think. You know, I'm sure your cat is quite.
Well, all animals can learn to a certain degree, even chickens.
My cat's afraid of a doorbell. That ain't happening.
That's a trainer that spent a lot of time with their pet. That's how come that dog can do all those things.
The tightrope and everything. I mean, this dog.
And they want to do stuff. They want to please their masters. And they enjoy it. That is amazing. Could be in the movies.
Oh,
what a sweetheart.
Isn't that cute? Yeah, but I think if you just go search Boebert, or you'd think you could search something like.
She really have like a side tattoo like that?
I think she does.
I'm gonna look a little bit and see if I can find anything real quick.
It's got that tribal on their side.
I believe she does have. I believe it's called a tramp stamp, perhaps.
But no, but it's on their side. It looks like.
Did you find a picture?
Yeah.
Let me
in search. I just did Lauren Boebert bikini, and it's like the second or third one. It looks like Simon Ateba posted one of it a couple hours ago. He's that one of those White House press corps fellas that never gets called on.
But I'm in a couple DM groups, and all the guys were sharing all the bikinis and the bathing suits and all that stuff. So
we thirsty.
But I saw some. But I had a cute video that I was wanting to share. I thought it was really funny, and I like to share at least one funny video because I usually talk about so much, negative stuff. So let me see if I can find this one real quick.
I got it in the internal chat. There you go.
Okay.
Papa Cotton says, "See what happens when simps get a hold of AI."
Yeah. Yeah, Papa, I do. I've seen so many funny things because I've gone to Bruce's Discord for his hot babes or whatever room. I have been in there, even though I shouldn't go in there
Oh God.
because most of them are not wearing clothes. But it's a private thing. They can share whatever they want. I think this one might be it, but I hate to open it and it'd be wrong one.
Are you saying that it's okay for locker room talk?
Yeah, I don't mind. Doesn't bother me. Most of my friends are guys, so I play DD and they're all guys. Except, well, we now have another girl. That's not the right one, but I thought this was pretty cool because all the negative flack that people were giving Elon and Trump, for doing that conversation they had. It wasn't even really an interview. It was like two billionaires, sitting around talking about what they thought the future of the United States was going to be and how choices that they make are going to affect the world, basically. How often you get to do that, you know what I mean? But I just thought it was really cool. If I could play this, if you guys want to hear it, it's not very long. Here we go. This is him on the phone with him.
Yes, if we could just record that conversation and post it, it would have been excellent. I hope we can have something like that today.
Well, I think we will. I'm pretty sure we will. And congratulations, because I see you broke every record in the book with so many millions of people. And it's an honor. We view that as...
Yes, if we could just record that conversation.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. And I was lucky to get in that space. And I got many pictures of me sitting right next to Elon Musk and next to Trump. It was great. Because you know how it moves that around, especially if you don't have a mic. Or whatever.
The account kept on updated, but I only ever saw myself and those two. Like I never saw anybody else's icons populate in the room.
Oh, really? Let me show you something.
So it was just me in a private session with those two. So I mean,
wow, you lucked out because that's not what I ended up getting.
I'm not trying to toot my own horn there or anything, but it was just the three of us. Just me and the boys talking about saving America.
I think.
But also,
yeah.
This was the other one I wanted to share real quick. Let me do it. I keep clicking on the wrong one. Let me see what it is over here on my list. It was so bad at this, but I'm learning. I'm slowly learning. Yeah, this one was kind of cute. Did you guys see this AI thing? I think it was done by somebody. But I'm not going to play the music, but it's Trump.
The crazy thing is that both he and Elon both reposted this within the last.
I know. I thought it was so cool, but it's such a good video. It's fun. It makes you laugh, and and that's one thing that I'm liking about the. Remember, this is my fourth account, okay, and it's X now. This is the first time. I've been on here and actually been able to see stuff and laugh about it. And I just think it's good. It's important that people laugh as much as you can and laugh at yourself. And how great is it? We have two people, Elon Musk and Trump, that can laugh at themselves, Well,
and that used to be, that was the part of politics. Like that's what kept it civil, right? I mean,
Because nobody's perfect. That's the one thing I just don't understand. And there's no common sense. It's like nobody has common sense anymore. So hold on. I'm trying to find this. Here's the other one. This was just a photo, but I think it's hilarious. And I shared it on my timeline with everyone because I think he deserved it. See this?
Yeah.
When the biggest interview of the decade isn't on your platform and you have to come to X to watch it and he's standing there looking through the window. I just love that. I think it's great.
I like the other one where they took that picture and then they added a bunch of other shit libs behind him.
Oh, no.
So it's like 40 of them all behind him, all looking in like that.
Oh.
It's the best.
I bet. Do you have it on your timeline? I'll have to go look at it. But
I don't think I do.
Oh, I just thought this was funny. But then I also want to share this because I had it bookmarked for you guys' Substack. This is what it looks like. And you go and you subscribe. You just put your this is my Friday night shit show chat or my email for it. And you just click subscribe and then you can start checking it out. But I'm going to share this right here, this address. I'm going to share it in the chat with everybody. So anyone that's interested in checking out their Substack, it's going to be in there. And I think a few of my subscribers, they're nerds. They're like me, that they hang out in Discord and they like to read and stuff like that, and they're interested in a lot of new things. So I bet you have a few people that might sign up for you guys' Substack. But I still can't find that other one I was telling you about. Oh, here it is. That's why I keep missing it. This is something I found, and I laughed and laughed because it's so great to have people just get to be themselves and laugh at their mistakes and be happy just to be themselves. And you don't get to see that very often. And this was a guy who called for an Uber driver, and he has Tourette's. And when he got picked up, the person that picked him up also has Tourette's. So I thought it was an adorable, funny video when they realized that they both had Tourette's. Okay.
Oh,
so
no.
watch this. It's so good. And it's adorable.
Doing okay today?
I am.
Well, that's really great.
Ah! Oh my God! Do you have Tourette's too?
Oh my God! Do you have
Yes.
Did we just become best friends?
I bet they do.
But I don't have ticks.
Oh, shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Meow. Meow.
I have a cat.
This is what?
No.
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 Just fingernails.
What the fuck?
Oh, I would love to meet
God, I'm
these
so
people.
glad you have such a great attitude about it.
I just think the life is too short to take seriously.
Yes. Yes.
This is me. You have a great day, ma'am.
You too. I love it. Doing okay today?
Weren't they
Yeah.
great? Oh, I just love them. And it's so great because so many people bitch and moan about their life every day. And it can always be worse. And I had 4 sisters, okay? And one above me and one below me. I was a middle daughter, and they were both blonde and built like Mae West, So I'd bring a guy home on a day, and they go, "Who's that?" And I had to introduce them, and then they wouldn't want to go out with me again because I was a tall, athletic brunette. I was not built like my sisters, so. But I did finally start growing boobs after I hit 30. So at least that was a good thing. Consolation prize. I was just a late bloomer. But, I understand what it's like to not be at the top. You know what I mean? To have to be second or third or fourth in line. And maybe that's one reason why, I am not such a bitch about, I have to be first all the time. And if nobody pays attention to me, I'm going to go in the corner and cry or whatever, because I had 4 sisters. We all, it is so funny. The guy, Bruce, that I do this show with that got me started on all this stuff. He's gotten to do a live stream with me and 2 of my sisters at one time. And he's like, he was freaked out because he can't get a word in edgewise with us. You think I talk a lot? Just think about being in a room with all 5 of us girls. It's something. It's scary to some people, but I grew up that way. I grew up with these people, and I accept that I'm not perfect, and I don't expect anyone else to be perfect. So, but I do expect them to be nice to people.
It's funny. I worked with a guy who had 5 daughters, and I'll just say that guy was the most even-keeled, relaxed. There was nothing that could face
That's
him.
what my dad's like. Was it my dad you met?
There's nothing that could excite Steve. So it's another Steve said this. No, it's really awesome. That's funny. Like, and it felt like natural. I mean, probably. So I've driven Uber a little bit, and I remember they have that option to set it up to record trips. But the fact that they both decided just to sit in the front seat, and I don't know if they just let it go. I think that's awesome. I actually did. I always think of Deuce Bigelow whenever I think of Tourette's, because that's the first time I ever heard of Tourette's. Was
Yeah, I'd never heard of it until I saw it on something. It was some show my mom was watching, and I was like, "That's not real." And she goes, "No, people really do have this, and most of them do shout out dirty words for some reason." So, but some of them do like they meow or they yell out. It's the fact that they do that, and it's just something that they can't help do. But it's nice to see a person, two people this time, that are living their lives, their best lives, even with something like Tourette's. You know,
But that was a straight vibe in that car.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like they were communicating, even though
Yeah, and it was great. It was so, it made me so happy to see that, to see two people that didn't know that each of them had this until it happened while they were in there, and they both realized, hey, they got Tourette's. Hey, it's like I got to go to one of my best friends was a dwarf. Okay. And she wore the same size pants as me, but we cut them off right above the knee, and they were long enough for her. And we wore the same size shirts, but her arms were shorter. So we had to roll the sleeves up or trim them off, and I could sew. So I always tried to help her, but she had beautiful long blonde hair, and I would brush her hair and stuff. And she drove a pickup truck. Her dad bought it, and he fixed the pedals and stuff. So she almost like stood up while she drove. Okay, and it was a stick shift, stuff like that. But her mother was normal size, and her brother was normal size, and her dad was a dwarf too. But one time I got to go to a get together that some people had. It was all little people. They all, had a little people thing. I never saw so many little people. But the thing is, they were all happy and friendly, and everyone was nice to everybody. Nobody made fun of anyone. You didn't see people standing around pointing and stuff like that. And I wish we could get back to that, because I remember when I was real young, I didn't notice people pointing people out because they were different skin toned or they act different, or they dressed all in black and painted their nails black. Nobody made fun of nobody. I don't know. I guess it's because of where I grew up, and most of my time was spent on Air Force bases, and nobody was like that. So it wasn't until my dad got out of the military and we moved in, I was in just starting high school, when I started seeing people make fun of other people and make fun of people because they weren't white. They were Vietnamese or whatever, or American Indian. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, military cohesion is well aware of the fact that once you allow for identity into that type of apparatus, it just completely dismantles it. So you have to eliminate that type of individual identity from that military unit, or else you're going to not allow for that level of cohesion, because they have to work together. They have to basically be trained to not think that way anymore, as opposed to actively being trained to think nothing but that way, which is what a lot of kids are having kind of thrust on them these days.
To me, that's what they have. They have a bombardment of people telling everybody, "Oh, you have to hate them because they hate you," even though they don't even know them. They haven't even spoken to them. My dad was jungle survival instructor. Okay. So, I hung out with him a lot because I was a tomboy and I liked doing stuff with my dad, hunting, fishing, hiking, going camping. I learned how to, gut a fish, all this kind of stuff. There's things that my sister didn't want to do. But I never saw my dad ever treat anybody different, I just never saw that. I just didn't grow up seeing it. And then all of a sudden I'm bombarded with it. And I'm like, why is there so much hate? Everybody hates everybody. Why? And I have a friend that's married to a Norwegian. Okay. And she went to Norway, and she has a daughter, and she's still not a citizen because she can't speak the language. And she's taken, I don't know how many tests, to try to do it, to try to learn to speak Norse, and she can't. Her daughter speaks 3 languages, and she can't even pass the test to be a citizen there. But you know what? Over there, they every person who graduates from high school, they work for the government for 4 years. They enjoy the service,
That's like my
silver service,
yeah.
or whatever it is. So maybe we should do something like that in our country.
It would
So
create
everyone
cultural
would look
cohesion
into
for
it.
everybody if everybody had that shared experience at that time in their lives. Yes.
I think so, because I'm lucky. I've got to live in other countries. I was born in Newfoundland myself. And I have a sister born in the Philippines. I have a sister born in Maine and 2 sisters born in Georgia, because we were always moving. But I think that's part of the problem, is that we have kids that are being taught whatever it is in their environment. And then as soon as they go anywhere or anyone comes into their environment that's not from there, they immediately or attack them for whatever reason, instead of accepting them for being different.
But see, like when I was growing up, again, I didn't experience that until I got to a big city. So I think most of the country, I believe we were in a post-racial world, pretty much in the 90s, and except in your largest cities, like million-plus cities. Otherwise, I feel like pretty strongly like it was. My daughter used "that's nice" from Joe. Yeah, well, I believe that occasionally. I think Rob has like anti-Trump Tourette's in our space sometimes, but that's just it's just a theory. What do you think? It's kind of like a weird version of TDS Tourette's.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that have TDS. I've met a few of them.
Yeah. So, I'm like, it's pretty cool. So. Yeah, switch phones. We're seeing all the comments. That's awesome. So, how this show you said you do once a week, and I guess my last kind of question we might want to ask for the audience is: so for one of the things we're trying to do is find ways to pick topics. Like we've got plenty of ideas now, but
okay. Well, one thing that I did, and it's helped a lot, because I get about 4 a week, and I'm little, remember, is I started my own email. It's like I shared it a couple times in the chat. It's Friday Night Shit Show at gmail.com. Yeah. Start a Gmail account and start sharing it on your timeline, and share it in the bubble chat and at the top every time you do a space. And then tell people if you have anything that you think would be a good discussion, whether it's raising chickens or whatever, come up with a few things and ask them to send you an email.
Okay.
And every time they send me one, I reply to them, and then I'll look into it and see whether or not I can get enough or someone to come on the show that can talk about whatever it is that they brought up. There was one show I did. It was about the FBI, and they raided some place, and it was how they went about doing it. It was all totally against the law, basically, what they did. And they're still like trying to get to go to court. And I had Danny on the show. He's in a lot of the spaces and stuff, and he came on the show and talked about it. And I was planning on having, Parson, Captain Love or whatever, come on and talk about Ukraine, because him and Susie are the 2 top people that I go to listen to about anything new about what's going on with Ukraine. It's 2 people I've known since the beginning of Spaces, just like American. American was one of the very first spaces I ever went in. And, I've met a lot of people, and I still go to their spaces. Some of them are really small, and there's a few of them that are real crazy people, like John from John's Tavern. He's a lot of fun. He fishes and does all fun, great stuff. And we just laugh, and it's relaxing. And I love the small spaces. I like a space that's got like 20 people. And then I go into Alvarez's spaces, the music spaces, and we just listen to songs and talk. And it's just so much variety on X. I mean, there's anything you want to find, you'll be able to find it. And if you want to find out about something, let's say you're thinking of starting a hobby of kayaking or growing a garden or having what is those places called? You grow plants and stuff in it. You know, a greenhouse. You know, something like that. You can find somebody on Spaces that does that stuff. You know, and that's what's so cool about it is that I just think it's a wealth of knowledge. And I'm really glad I signed up for it. I have one sister that's on there now. She's on there more and more. And then I have another sister that's starting to come on here more and more. But I have two sisters that are like, they like Facebook.
Ugh.
I was on Facebook until 2020. And right after the Trump stuff, well, there was a post that came by, and it was a Antifa person with a knife to the throat of a cop on their knees, and they were cutting their throat. So I reported it. Okay, I reported that picture as something I didn't want to see on my timeline, and they told me that it was an artistic expression or something like that. That they didn't see anything wrong with it. So I took the picture, and I had some other friends help me swap the bodies to make it look like the cop was cutting the other guy's throat. And then I put them side by side. And I put on the thing about how they thought this was artistic expression, and this should be artistic expression. Guess what? They said, you got to take it down. I'm like, why? That's not fair, because that's how I am. I do stuff like that. And they said that I had to take it down or they're going to take down my channel. So I said, fine. I took it down. I took everything off, all the years of pictures, all my information. I changed my picture to Bill Clinton, the blue dress. And then I changed my name to Lynn. And I started just taking everything off and putting memes and stuff like that on there. And then I deleted my account. But it's been over 5 years, and I still get messages on my email that says someone's trying to log into your Facebook account that I have not had, that I deleted. So they don't get rid of your account. They keep it because it makes their numbers look good. Okay.
And that's the reason they don't do it is it drives the ad revenue cost. And they're getting in trouble right now because the advertisers finally figured out. Yeah. Because it's a big deal. Like based on the number
use Facebook again.
Views is what you pay for. So
I don't like it. I think they're a very bad company.
Yeah.
If you're a Christian or you are a conservative, I don't recommend that you use Facebook.
Thing is that even if you don't, there is a Facebook account that is created of you.
Yeah,
that
probably.
is used by. No, there is. Like they'll create an account based on your analytics and everything, and then that account is used to. I forget how they actually monetize that or utilize it, but they're able to basically make a phantom version of you on Facebook based on the analytics they're able to pull from the other aspects of your phone, like the other things that have permissions on your phone. It's wild.
I think that's terrible, but it's not any different than the Smith-Mundt Act, basically, where the media can say and do whatever they want, and it is nothing we can do about it. It's propaganda, and that's what they're paid to do is share propaganda and get people to do things that we normally wouldn't do. But so I just try to avoid it. I just say, fine, I'm just not gonna spend my time over there. And I think that's right after that is when I started doing Telegram, because I'm still on Telegram and I still have a few groups on there that I enjoy hanging out with. We just get on there and laugh and hang out, and a few of them come back and forth to X. But I really love Discord, even though a lot of people say they don't. I really enjoy it. Every Sunday, like we're going to be doing Jaws this next Sunday, we invite people to our Discord and we watch the movie, and then we do the review afterward. And we do it live. We do live stream our review. So it's fun, and it's fun to be in there with people watching a movie like we did. We've done. Let's see, what was it? The General's Daughter. And we've had, some really fun stuff. We did Futurama. We watched like 5 seasons of Futurama, one after the other. It just depends on what, someone brings up in the chat or whatever. And you guys know John from John's Tavern?
Not familiar.
Okay, well he has a space every so often he does on X, but he came into our chat and he wanted us to do Goonies, and he gave a super chat to Bruce because he's monetized. I'm not, but so we invited him on the show to review the movie with us. So that's what we do. But he donates the money to the Wooded Warrior program. So, and he sells coffee and some other stuff. You know, he does soap and some other stuff like that. But you know, it's just fun. And I told Bruce, I said, as long as we enjoy ourselves, I'll keep doing it. As long as we're doing it the way we want to do it, just like I did this show. I want this show to be informative, where we talk about things that, you know, whatever our subject is, but I want it to be free flowing. I want us to have our normal reaction to it, not a scripted, but you have to talk about this and you have to talk about that or whatever type thing. Because to me, that's not a free flowing, natural way of talking about discussions, you know. And the Friday night shit shows gets a little crazy because, you know, I usually have 4 people on, and one of us is a libertarian, and another person's from New York, another person, you know, and we have a good group of people, and we get really down and dirty. And I've, you know, got in trouble a few times on my channel. I've had to take it down for 3 weeks once. So, you know, I don't want to lose my channel because I like having the name Janet from Another Planet. I think my real name is Janet, and I like it. People used to call me that when I was a kid, and I just think it's really cool. It's different, and you know. And plus, when we do our alien show, I dress up. I dress up with a white wig and antenna, and I have a costume that I've made to be from the other planet, the Venus, you know, that type of thing. And we talk about alien abductions and stuff like that. It's fun, and I enjoy doing it. But I don't want to lose the name. You know, I've been working really hard trying to build up my name as Janet from Another Planet, and I hope I can keep it. And I'm trying to be a good girl, but man, it's hard. It's really hard when especially when I talk about, you know, children that have been, you know, trafficked or abused, things like that. And you guys know Brandy, right? You've seen Brandy on some of the spaces.
I believe
She's
so.
on the Shepherd's Watch. I've had her on a few
Yeah.
times on my channel, and we're on Telegram together and stuff like that too, because we both are adamant helping children and, you know, anyone that's trafficked type of thing. But they don't want you to share information about some things on YouTube, you know. And I'm hoping that if we can get Rumble and some of these other channels to grow and start pulling people away from YouTube, that YouTube will stop being such, you know, a-holes about railroading people that have my point of view, considering someone else's point of view is better than mine because of my point of view or who I might vote for. And I wish they wouldn't be that way. I think that's why X has grown so much.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, like, I mean, the only reason I keep Facebook around is to find out when my friends have like a new kid or die. So
Yeah.
I go on it like once a week.
Yeah, my 2 sisters are all there. That's what they do. It's all family or high school reunion stuff and things like that. But
I never look at anything. I just look for.
I'm not gonna do it.
It's bad, and
I do not like it.
So the other thing, like, I don't. Who cares what you ate for dinner unless you do something really special? Like, I've got a lot of friends like that on Facebook that have this bad habit.
Yeah, Papa. So are mine. That's why I'm not on there anymore.
Papa Cotton's been dropping some straight fire in your chat. I love it. It's amazing.
Yeah, I love Papa Cotton. See, we've been friends since I've been on YouTube. We've been friends, and we're in Discord, and, you know, we hang around with a lot of the same channels and things like that. I've got some really good friends that I've met on YouTube, and that's why I wish they were. I wish they'd be nicer, because I'm sure. How many channels have you had? How many times have you gotten takedown, Papa? Quite a few, I'm sure. But, you know, that's what happens. A lot of my friends said, well, I'm nuked, so I have to start a new channel. I'm like, that sucks. You know, and almost all of them are conservative. So, you know, there you go. And it's sad, you know, to say that, but that's a fact, you know.
That's why, like, what you know, kind of how we started this, I think, because one thing is to have like the resources you need to be ready to have the conversations, because most of the time, like we always talk about, what we care about is not necessarily what's important to them. So it's like that listening part, and that's where spaces are cool. But also, like, I think certain podcasts, and again, I wish more of them were like the link that we're doing, like I Love Right Report. But like for lives, like, you know, a couple hours this is awesome. But the I think like it's finding that mix of information and being out in the world, right? Like, so I like the fact that you continue to emphasize that, because I feel like there's times when, if like Steve and I will talk about this, and sometimes I say it at the end of my space, or, you know, we said that get out, like turn off X, like the world's still going to be here. And I think that's like the biggest psyop of them all, is that all these things are existential, that your life could end tomorrow. And one of the things I've learned working like banking and stuff, where, you know, if there's anything that's about as important as your life, unfortunately for a lot of people, is money. And so, you know, when you're dealing with hundreds of billions of people's money, it's got to get where it's supposed to be. It's got to be right. And what I learned is there are no emergencies. Like, even when like it feels like the world's falling down, like, one thing, if I respond to it as an emergency, I'm probably not going to solve the problem. But more importantly, we'll probably figure it out as long as we keep our cool. And I think we need to start to apply that more to our life, because that's why people are so emotional. That's why people why we can't talk to each other about this stuff, because everybody thinks that, like, you know, if Trump or if Kamala gets elected, the world is going to end and I'm going to end up in a concentration camp. I think both sides have that opinion right now, right? And so,
yeah, pretty much. Well, you know, right, people get very emotional because they really fear whatever they think is going to happen because of that. But see, what I try to tell people is, okay, everybody's seen Biden out and about, right? And do you honestly think he's the one making the daily decisions? No, I don't. So whoever it is making those decisions probably going to still be making the same decisions when he's not there. So if Kamala steps in, even though she's blah, blah, blahing, it's going to be that other person or people that are going to be making the same decisions for her. But when Trump is in there, I honestly believe Trump is going to make most of the decisions. He's already proven to me in his first time as president that he meant what he said. He's one of the only people I've ever seen that got in there and tried to do everything he said he would do. Okay. Why is that so wrong? You know, he brought industry back to our country. He tried to secure the border the whole time. The rhinos were trying to stop him. So I already know what to expect from Trump. So now I expect more this time, because I think he's learned something, and he's had nothing but knives stabbed in his back since he's been out. Okay. But what I'm worried about is September, when he's going to be put in jail. What's going to happen then? That's election interference. Yeah. I guarantee they're going to put him in jail. And when that happens, is that going to cause riots? Even if it's not us? Okay, see, that's another thing. When they had the January 6th, a couple of my friends, YouTube friends, were there live, doing live streams. And they told me, hey, people were taking out their Antifa stuff and putting on Trump gear. And I believe them. Why would they lie to me about it? They don't have no reason to. They're not even big. You know, they're not making any money. They just wanted to go because it was going to be they thought it might be a big thing to see. And so when this happens, if he goes to jail, I don't even think it's going to be real people like me that's pissed off. That I will be pissed off when they do it, but it's not going to be me that's going to grab my weapons and run out there and storm the Capitol or go start a riot or burn cars and burn buildings. It's going to be people that are going to change their clothes and put on a Trump hat and go do stuff because they're getting this. See, that's what I think is going to happen.
I think the case, the reason that Judge Merchan agreed to delay the sentencing is because he's going to have to dismiss the verdict at sentencing.
I hope he does.
He doesn't
But
have a
I'm worried
choice.
about
The
that.
Supreme Court. He doesn't have a choice to the Supreme Court decision, and that's why. But what they want to do is they want to keep that conviction because he'll file the order for the appeal, which will then I think the appeal is going to start around mid-October.
I thought he already did.
He filed it, but then he can't file it until after the sentencing. You can't file the
Oh,
appeal.
that's right. So, but
No,
what if they,
basically,
what if he sentences him? He files, and then they say put the handcuffs off and take him to Rikers.
Can't do it. Yeah, they'll stay the appeal, but he's not going to sentence him. I don't see it happening. But if it did, it would just guarantee that Trump wins. So
I know, but but if he lives,
He'll live,
as soon
yeah.
as he's not with the people he has right now, his own people now, he's his own people again. I don't know what's going to happen. See, that's what scares me because I don't trust any of these people. I know they'll do anything to get rid of them.
Well,
They'll take you out and me and whoever else is standing in the way. Well, they'll run right over us because we don't mean squat. we're just bumping the road.
I hope I really don't think that they're that dumb because unfortunately the difference with this is if we were to get like civil war, then all their friends and family will die too. So
yeah, see, that's what I'm afraid of. Innocent people suffering because of it.
50 million dead.
See, I'm ready. I've got my weapons. I moved out in the country. I can defend myself. You know, I can see them coming for a while. I have chickens. I have my own well. I can stay here for a while if I have to. I can eat squirrel or venison. You know, I can fish. I can do a lot of things, but a lot of people aren't in my position. That's the people I feel bad for. It's not me. I'm not worried about myself. And plus, I moved to a state where we got Sarah Huckabee now as a governor. I feel pretty confident that I'm going to be if anything does happen, it's going to be later. The first people that are going to be taken out are the ones in the blue cities. Basically, they're going to be fighting each other for each other's stuff.
Yep.
If it gets bad, so that's who I worry for because a lot of them were just doing what they thought was right because they really don't know the whole story because they really haven't gotten to listen because they've been fed propaganda. And that's the sad fact. Those are the people that suffer the most are the ones that weren't able to get the actual facts because the ones that got the real truth and dug in and were able to research and stuff, they're the ones that are prepared. See?
Yeah.
And that's why I feel sorry for these people. And I still have empathy for them. Because that's how I was raised. I was raised by a mother who would go to the basketball game at our school, and they'd see a girl running, holding her chest while she's running, and mom would say, "I want to buy her some bras. I want you to find out what size bra she wears." And I'd have to go run around, try to find out, and my mom would buy bras for these girls, stuff like that. That's the kind of mom I had. You know, it's embarrassing to talk about it, but she was a wonderful person.
Yeah,
and I missed her a lot. I mean, she cared about other people. I mean, and she worked every day. You know, we had to clean house and do dishes and cook dinners and stuff like that as we got older because my mom was working and my dad would be working. So, and we had 1 bathroom and 3-bedroom house with 5 kids. So, you know, we know what it's like not to have everything, but we loved each other. And I don't remember not having whatever it was I needed. You know,
Yeah.
I always had what I needed because I had hardworking, tax-paying parents. And I look around and I see tons of people that are trying to pay their bills and take care of their families. And I feel bad because we have a government that doesn't care about them at all. You know, it doesn't care whether they have expensive gas for their car, you know. Yeah. And it hurts to know that my dad served 35 years for a country that the president is like, he don't care, you know, and it hurts for all the people that I know are on the street and they're putting people that just walked over the border and never got a vaccine and had to lose their job, you know, all the different things that they're pushing our veterans aside for, things like that. And it just tears my heart out. And, you know, and that's why I do some of the things that I do, why I try to get people to sign up to work the polls, because I honestly believe that is the only way to have the cleanest, fairest elections is if one of us is in every single polling station. They're not going to cheat in front of you. They're just not going to do it. Because just like at Walmart, why do you think they have greeters at the door? Because when a person walks in and you say hi to them and you look them in the eye, it's harder for them to steal from you. That's why they do it. Okay. And it's factual, because believe me, they have, if you ever go to a Walmart website and you go down the list about looking for jobs, it's almost half of them are lawyers. If you ever go look at the corporate website. And the reason is because they have, let's say they have the thing of Christmas trees out front, right? And somebody walks by and they're pulling on the tree and stuff. A couple limbs fall off and the lady walks by and she slips and falls because of the limb. Well, guess what? They got to have a lawyer because she's going to sue. Okay. So they'll settle out of court, give her money or whatever, offer a few trees that, they have to sell a shit ton of those trees to pay for all that money they just shelled out. But they pay for a lot of lawyers, and they have as many part-time employees as possible because it keeps the numbers down. It's less insurance they got to pay out, all the different things, because they want to make money. And we either accept it or we don't shop there, So it's up to us. If we didn't buy their products or go to their store, they wouldn't have money.
Yeah.
Just like what happened with Bud Light. And we all came together, not because we all sat together and said, oh, we need to boycott them. We did it on our own because we all were appalled by what happened enough to where we said, I ain't buying their shit. And they were really sorry for it, what they did. And if more people would do that, because I remember all the men saying, I'm not going to go to a NFL game and I'm not going to do this, but all because of what they were taking the knee and doing all that stuff during the national anthem and a few things. And that one guy that was praying, they were making fun of him. Right. And I was so proud of them, but it was like 3 games later and I hear them all talking about it because they're all watching football again. I go, see, you guys just don't you can't hold out long enough to make a difference when it comes to a multi-billion-dollar company. You have to wait a whole season. Go a whole season, you don't buy any of their stuff, don't watch any of their games, then they're going to say, damn, we got to do something. We can't have that happen again. That's how we win. But you got to have stamina. You got to be willing to work it out, the whole thing. You can't just say, well, I'm not going to buy this pizza this time.
Yeah.
One pizza is not going to hurt them.
So, no, absolutely. And I think I kind of need, because I got to get up in 8 hours.
You got to go to bed. It's 10. It's after 10 o'clock my time. I don't know what your time is. Is it 11 for you?
It's 9 for me, but
oh, it's 9. Okay. Well, I just want to say thank you for joining me tonight. And once you guys get started and you get your stuff going, if it starts getting big, I would love to have you come back and tell me all about it and let me.
And just because it's called This Dude Thinks doesn't mean we can't have the occasional gal expert on for a topic.
Well, that's great. But the thing is, I want you guys to be successful. So if you share your stuff in your timeline and stuff, I'll try to make sure I share it. Because as you saw in my chat, I have lots of guys that come and hang out, and I'm sure they'd be interested in hearing all your stuff. So and I'll even share it on my, like I did before the show, I went and I shared the different stuff over in my Discord too, on my Discord server. So
when I will reach out about, it sounds like Steve knows a lot more about Dungeons and Dragons than I do, but maybe we'll reach out to watch that one of these days.
I know a little bit.
Yeah, I share it on my timeline, and you'll see the little pink thing at the top, or I think it's pink, isn't it?
Yeah, the pink is for the live.
When someone's live, because that's what I do. I don't know. I think this Saturday we have a game, but the 24th and 31st I won't be having one because I'm going to be in Florida. I'm going to be house sitting and watching 2 Eagles for a friend because she's going to go to Norway with her family. So I'm going to be in wonderful Florida vacationing and watching 2 dogs, but I'm still going to, relax by the pool and hopefully go to the beach and maybe go do some sightseeing and whatever else I can do. So it's going to be nice. I'm excited. Looking forward to my vacation. So, nice. But you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, which is tomorrow starting Friday. So you guys going to do a space in the morning, right?
Yep.
Okay, so
Bright and early.
I'll try to be there when you open. Sometimes I've made it a few times right before you opened your space, but most of the time I'm like, oh, when I get up. But we all have different lives, I guess. But thank you, Steve. It was nice meeting you, talking to you a little bit more, because I've talked to Patrick a lot more than I do you. But it's nice talking to you.
Yeah, likewise, Janet. It's been fun. It's been real.
Yeah.
I liked. I think this morning you had brought up the idea of taking care of your health, working out, and you said the words explicitly, preventative maintenance, and that is something that I ascribe to as well. Like things like just working out daily, chiropractic care, supplements. Things like vitamin C, vitamin D, magnesium. I mean,
our teeth, our eyes.
Yeah, we've only got like one set of those. It's not like we can just replace them. So
But look
it's
how much money insurance companies would save if they started investing in your children when they're little and trying to keep them healthy as they grow up, by exercising, getting their teeth taken care of, their eyes, all their health, like they do in the Air Force, right?
Yeah, then the individual dentist or orthodontist wouldn't make money.
And they will make more money because you're paying your monthly premium, but you're going to have less people that are sick, because a healthy person is less likely to maybe start smoking or over drinking or taking drugs and different things like that. Nobody in my family did it.
Yep. Be a net producer. Exactly.
So, I don't know. And when I told my dad, I go, maybe I might want to join the military. And he said, military is no place for a woman. That's what my dad said. He had 5 daughters. So, none of us girls joined the military because my dad didn't think it was appropriate for us to be in the military, because he doesn't think women should have to go to war. The risking of what could happen, because he says it isn't because of the woman, it's because the men's lives are in danger because they feel like they have to protect the woman in the group.
Right.
Okay, it's not that you can't do a good job, or we wouldn't think that you could be a expert pilot or whatever it is your job is. It's the fact that men can't deny that you're a woman, and when they see that you're in danger, they're going to put themselves in danger, and that endangers all the men on the team. And the more I thought about it, the more I understood what he was saying. And I didn't think it is sexist, or that, because I'm a woman, I'm lesser than a man. I shouldn't be treated the same, because God made us walk side by side.
Yeah.
He didn't take me from his bone. He didn't take a bone from his foot and make a woman. He took it from a rib, which is his side. So they're meant to be side by side in life. So that's how my mom and dad raised us girls. And that's how, I wish more people could, more people could actually get to listen to the word of God, and put it into their everyday life and look at how our lives should reflect what in humanity, basically, what you're giving compared to what you're taking from someone. If everybody gives some and takes some each day, it's all going to balance out. But if you got one person that constantly takes and never replays, the balance falls. So, that's just the way I look at everything. It's kind of hard to, change that after I've been doing it for so long. And my sisters are the same way. And that's why I said sometimes we can be very scary for people when they meet all of us at once. But thank you guys so much for joining me tonight. And this will be, I will bookmark this on X. So if and I'll share it every so often so people can see it or whatever. And so if you want it, I can download it and send it to you in an email, and you can use it for whatever, if, take snippets out of it or whatever, if you want. But, that's what I do. I take little snippets and I share them on my X or my TikTok or whatever else. And, depending on what it is I was talking about, I'll say, well, that was a good quote, or that sounded really good. But he said, I'm going to take that and put it over here on this or whatever, because, you never know. One thing that you say could make a big difference from someone's life. I mean, even though we think it's nothing because we hear it every day, because we're saying it to ourselves or to someone in our family, but someone who's never met you may really need to hear what you have to say. And I think that's important, that we do the best we can to inform other people of things. If we know something they don't, just like me, I like to listen because I learn a lot of things by listening to spaces a lot. So I really enjoy it. But you guys have a wonderful night. And thank you, everyone in the chat, for hanging out with us tonight. I really appreciate it because we have 81 people right now watching us right now. So live. So that's good. It just depends because, if there's something else going on, they're going to be doing that, or music space, or who knows. But thank you so much. And hopefully I'll see you later. But tomorrow night, if you want, come hang out with us starting at 9:10. I will do the shit show, the Friday shit show with my panel. And we just like to have a good time and talk about all the shit that pisses us off.
Right on.
So, but you guys have a great night, and I'm going to say good night.
All right, thanks.